I'll be sharing with you in this video how to know your value when creating what you want. Because the truth is that you might be going through your life and you might be questioning your value. Like, why am I valuable in this area? If you have some kind of business offer to the world or a product that you're making, you might be thinking, why is this valuable? Now, if you're creating a product of some kind, sometimes it can be very clear what the value is because the value solves a direct problem and that's the value that you offer the world. But sometimes it can be a little bit more intricate than that, and your value can come from something much deeper. Even if you're making a product or even a service or something, where does the value really stem from? I'm going to share with you in this video how to really own your value at every single level, whether it's actual value that you're offering in a physical form or something that's still just as actual but a little bit more implicit in terms of the way that you show up in your life, and that's still going to be valuable. And let's talk about those in this video. So the first thing that I want to share with you in this video is just to understand that first and foremost, value is ultimately just showing up. It's your consciousness, it's your presence. You are simply valuable by simply showing up. That's value. You might be creating a business, you might be creating a product in the world. Well, if you're creating a product in the world, how do you offer value to the world? Well, you show up for yourself first and foremost in your own business every single day. However you need to show, whatever you need to do to keep that business going so that people can receive that value from that product, that's your consciousness. Your value is showing up in the business. Sometimes, whatever it means to you in any context, I really believe that a majority of value is just simply giving your consciousness. It's your energy, because you might make mistakes. You might not be perfect. You might not even get the results that you want sometimes. An achievement is good, results are good. I don't think that we should neglect achievements and just say like, oh, just showing up is everything. It's not everything. Sometimes you have to measure your results and measure the behavioral changes and ask yourself, am I making behavioral level changes? Or am I staying the same? Are my behaviors actually changing? Or is it the same? Whatever the case might be, I really want to start to invite and encourage you just to start to believe that you're valuable by showing up, by simply being you. And of course, that's not the end all be all. I'm not saying that you shouldn't need to build other parts of your life and offer value in other areas, but I think that a majority of it and a big component of it and a strong factor in knowing your value is simply seeing that value is just you showing up. Because remember, there's going to be many times in your life where you can't show up 100%. And you can't show up 100%. You can't be 100%. You might be tired. You might be overworked. Maybe you're balancing many tasks, and so you feel low in capacity. You feel low in your space, right? That's all going to happen. It's all going to happen. It's all inevitably going to happen. And to pretend that it's not going to happen is, I think, to dishonor the inevitable part of life. Inevitably so, you're going to feel tired sometimes. You're going to feel anxious sometimes. So how do you really define your value at the very core? One day you're not going to be able to work as hard. You're not going to be able to put in as much effort, and things are going to be more difficult in that area. Physically, you're going to be more tired. That's going to happen. So when all this is happening, what is still going to be valuable to the world? How do you offer value? It's your consciousness. It's you showing up. Maybe it's how you showed up 100% before that day. That's still providing value to the world. How you showed up maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, fully to something you showed up 100% is going to be valuable to the world. And I really invite and encourage you to show up 100% with what you do in your life, because even though you can't sometimes, remember, if you want to provide value to the world, and that's your consciousness, well, honestly, to be quite honest, if you really want to be able to honor this principle fully and understand that, if value is consciousness, if it is showing up, you would want to show up 100%, wouldn't you? So if you can't give 100% to something, wouldn't it be better to take some space to be alone until you can build up your consciousness just a little bit more, build up your capacity just a little bit more, build up your presence to the present moment just a little bit more, and then you're able to come back full force with whatever it is that you're doing, and then give it 100%, and then give it your full capacity and your full energy. I think that This is what it means to know your value when creating what you want, which is to understand that, it's okay to not be 100% sometimes. That's fine. But if you can't show up 100%, how can you be better? How can you pull back your energy and show up 100% if you can't currently? How can you change that to show up 100%? If right now in this present moment you can't, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There shouldn't be any judgment from yourself or from anybody else around that if you can't be 100%. But it's okay to ask yourself to be 100%. It's okay to get people to ask you, to let you know, hey, I'm noticing that you're not 100% right now. I need you to show up a little bit more. I need you to be a little bit better. I need you to improve. And so what's happening there is that I think that this is true value. I think that true value is remembering that it's giving your full presence, your full capacity, your full beingness, your full consciousness. It's just to show up, to fully show up. If you want to be successful in something, whatever area of life, whether it's in school or in a business idea or something personal, I really recommend just show up, give it 100%. And if you can't give it 100%, communicate that, come back into your energy field, pull back your energy, do what you need to do to build up your space once again, and then show up 100% once again in that situation. Come back 100%. Because if you can't show up 100%, like there's a reason for that, I think, and we should come back and show up. And I'm not saying that sometimes life inevitably won't allow you to show up 100%. It will. Life is going to do that. Life is going to take away your power sometimes. And what do? You need to pull back and not want it badly enough to the point where you can pull back and build up your power once again to then show up 100%. Because you can. You always can. Life is going to try to show you that you can't, but you got to come back and say, yes, I can. Yes, I can show up 100%. Yes, I can give it my all. But sometimes you're going to forget that, and you need to remember over and over and over that really true value is just showing up. You're valuable by just showing up, even if you're new at something, even if you're not necessarily experienced at something, even if you're still learning something. Well, you solve 90% of the problem by committing to it and deciding that you're going to show up 100% every single day. You might be new at a job, but if you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to commit to this every single day and just show up, you're going to be good at that job. Even if you're not that good after 3 months, 6 months, you're still going to be better than most of the people at that job that have just started because you've been there for already 6 months. If you put effort into something every single day consistently, the energy that you put into that, now you have a higher skill set. You showing up now is 20, 15, 30 times more powerful than somebody else, because now you've shown up for yourself so many times. Now just showing up, even if you're not at 100%, even if you're at 50%, can even be more valuable than other people. And that's not to say that other people are less valuable than you. It's not like that, but it's like you might have literally a higher skill set, more value to offer the world in a certain way. And that's not like a bad thing. When I say value, in this case, I mean a different kind of value, which is not just showing up, which is the actual skill sets that you've made. That's another part of value as well. Because I think, again, part of value is showing up. Another part of value is literally the skill sets that you develop and how good you are at something. And again, that can happen more when you just show up and let go of needing that skill set to begin with and realize that, okay, I don't have this skill set now, but just showing up for myself, I can get this later. If I show up for myself every single day, then I can get this skill set. And that's what happens. So first, you got to show up with just me showing up as value. Trust that you're going to build that skill set, where then that skill set is more powerful. And you showing up is still very valuable. All you have to do is show up. And now on top of that, you have even more higher level skill sets that you never had before. I think that's very powerful. I think that's extremely powerful. And that's going to help you to, to create more of what you want in a much more powerful way, in a much faster way, 100%. Now, the second thing, that I want to share with you in this video is just to understand that really we need to stop making it about ourselves. If you want to know your value when creating what you want, stop making it about you. It's not just about you and how you show up in your life. It's really also about understanding that how can you show up for somebody else? That's the key right there. How can we begin to show up for other people in our life? How can we serve? How can we be of value? Because oftentimes we're so focused on just me. What can I get? How can I get something from the situation? What can I receive? And it's like, it's very selfish. It's very selfish to think like this, because a lot of times you got to stop thinking about yourself, and start to think about, what is it the other person wanting? What are people wanting? What problems do people have that they need to be solved? That's really the essence of a really good business. And you showing up powerfully in the world is understanding that it's not just about you. It's not just about what you want to see happen in your life. It's really about other people. See, here's a good insight for yourself if you want to show up very powerfully for the world, is remember that the world does not revolve around you. It doesn't revolve around you. The ego believes that it does. And I know that a lot of people, in the area of creation and creating your life, will tell you to think in a very prideful way and say that the world does revolve around you. The universe is working in your favor. And I believe that it is. I think that if you believe that the universe is working in your favor, then absolutely you're going to see a reflection of this. But just remember that I think it's important not to take this too far and to start to think that you're able to disrespect or dishonor another human being. That's not the case, And it's like, you got to understand that people have desires as well. People have wants as well. You might want something, but it's not just about you. I think that the key to life is creating a win-win dynamic where it's not just about you, it's not just about others, it's about understanding, yes, you have desires, you have goals. I'm not going to make it so one flip it to the other direction to say that your goals don't matter. And if you want to be a successful business owner or a successful entrepreneur, or to create something that you want in your life, you need to only focus on other people and stop making it about yourself. It's not that deep. But to some degree, on some level, you do need to stop making it about other people and start making it about other people, and stop making it about just yourself. Because it's not just about you. It's okay, I have desires, I have goals. That's amazing. There's nothing wrong with that. Just remember that other people also have desires, they also have goals. It's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Now the question is, how do we align both of these things together? That's the question that I really want you to start to invite and encourage more into your life. It's just to start to think about, how can we bring these things together? Because if we're going to walk through life and we can't even align our intentions with other people's intentions, that's what I call the win-lose mentality. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe that one person should win and another person should lose. I really believe that we can create an environment in our life where we can create a win-win environment where you can win, you can create what it is that you want in your life, but also at the same time, the other person that's participating in your life can also win in a certain way. And not just in a certain way, hopefully in a way that you both can agree with, that resonates for both of you, and to create the futures that you want for yourselves. Because why should it be a win-lose? Why should they win and you should lose, or vice versa? That's not fair. That's not actually fair. So my question to you is, why are you making it about yourself all the time? Why not think about, it's not just about me. How can you think about, what can I offer to the world? Yes, value is just showing up, but once you show up, you got to remember that value is what other people want. What does the other person want? What do they need? It's not just about you, it's about solving other people's problems. If you want to run a successful business, value is just solving other people's problems to a large degree as well. It's fixing people's issues. It's turning a problem into a solution. How can you make them get what they want? How can you support somebody to achieve what they want? If you can do this, you're going to be able to be very valuable to the world, because value is simply helping a person show up for themselves more powerfully as well. That's value, You show up 100%, you guide them and help them to show up 100% in their life as well. That's really value, It's giving 100% of your consciousness to somebody, and really you're doing it for yourself as well, and you're trying to create a win-win, and you invite and encourage them to show up for themselves in a similar manner in their life. Because how many moments in their life do you think that maybe, if somebody's walking into a person's life and using their voice and saying, let's create a win-win situation here. If a person has been in the win-lose energy dynamics and have these type of relationships, if there's an energy dynamic in their relationships in their life where, you know, they believe that they have to win and that somebody else has to lose or vice versa, you're going to have to show up to that person and literally convince them, like, no, what, that's not the case. Like, you don't have to lose so that somebody else can win and vice versa. Like, it's not necessary. And they're going to think that you're being selfish, that you just want something from them, or it's just about them. And it's like, they think that you want just what you can extract from them. It's like, no. It's like, I want something, definitely, but I know you want something. How can we align those things together? And if we can't, at least we can be upfront about this and figure it out from the get-go so that we don't have to waste each other's time. That might seem like an overly, you know, extreme perspective, but a lot of the times can be necessary to finally feel peaceful and to finally feel like you can offer who you really are when you're showing up in an interaction and really be who you prefer to be, not what you believe that you have to be so that you can please somebody else while you feel like you're losing, you're not winning it how you want to win. So stop making it about just you. It's not just about me. Oftentimes we like to blame and criticize and judging the other people. Stop blaming, stop criticizing, stop judging. How can you show up for somebody else? How can you to help them win? How can you help them to achieve more of what it is that they want in their life? How can you help them realize that all they have to do to be successful in their life is just, number one, before anything, just show up for themselves. You know, before you talk about solving problems and this and that, how can you show up for yourself? Which leads me to the third point in this video, which is like, you know, yes, we talked about many points in this video about solving people's problems, about creating a win-win situation, not a win-lose, making it so that your intentions align with their intentions, owning what you want and aligning what you want with what they want. These are all amazing points. But I just want to start off to connect back to the first point, which is that yes, value is consciousness, and ultimately, really, you know, I really want to remind you that feeling peace is okay. You know, you're allowed to be selfish to that degree. And I want to make this very clear because it's like, I really believe that if you want to be valuable to the world, if you want to give somebody something, like a true giving that comes from the essence of your heart, not a giving where it's really your ego taking. You know, because the ego can come and give somebody money or give somebody this or give, and they think that they're giving, but the energy behind it is almost like a taking. It's almost like taking. Why? Because they're not feeling peaceful in their body while they're actually doing it. So let me ask you something. If you're walking through your life and you're feeling miserable, you're feeling not connected to the essence of who you are, you're feeling disconnected, you feel like you're losing in every single area of your life, but on paper, you're giving. Are you really winning? And are you really offering true value? Now, maybe yes, you are, because you're showing up, and I still think that you are valuable. To say that you're not valuable because you don't feel good or feel connected, that's crazy to say that. I would never say that if you don't feel 100%, you're not valuable. That's ridiculous, and that's going to create an extremely negative perspective that's not going to be supportive to helping you to create whatever it is that you want in your life. But at the same time, though, if you're not feeling happy, are you giving the best possible value that you can offer the world? If you're not feeling peaceful and connected to who you really are you giving your full essence that you can offer? Are you really creating a situation where you can win and you're inviting and leading others to win? Because remember, if you want to win, part of leading and being a leader is inviting and encouraging others to join you on what you feel is a win for yourself. Not telling them that they have to, although sometimes telling using your voice can be a good technique. Oftentimes, inviting and asking somebody to step up can be a powerful technique as well. Let them know and ask them, like, hey, can you show up more powerfully? And are you okay with feeling peaceful in your life? Because you don't need to feel like you're burdening yourself to offer value. That's really what I want to conclude this video with. If you believe that to offer value to the world that you need to be in a state of consistent over stress and over anxiousness and too much losing while other people around you are seemingly winning and you're losing, that's not true value, really, really at the core. I think that you're almost giving people just a piece of yourself that's not even what they really want. They don't want to see that version of you. You don't want to see that version of yourself. You know that you have better versions of yourself, that you can be better. I want to start this video just making it very clear. Just remember, once again, feeling peace is okay. That's completely fine. You're allowed to feel peaceful. You're allowed to give yourself enough permission to be selfish enough to the point where you're feeling peace. And remember, if you feeling peaceful makes somebody else upset and they feel like they feel jealous or upset about that or negative about this, if your peace makes somebody else angry, that's a huge reason for you to observe what's happening even more, and then just notice that and then be even more peaceful anyway. Because remember, if that makes somebody upset, should that really stop you from feeling peaceful? Or should they take that situation and maybe think about why they're upset? Maybe they feel like they have to lose. You finally give yourself permission to win, to call yourself a winner and to be a winner, and then somebody else feels like they're losing because you're winning. That's their problem. Now, I'm not saying that you can come in and help them, and you shouldn't blame them and say, oh, it's just your problem. It's like, that's not going to help them, right? Let them know, hey, if you're in conversation with them, tell them, hey, you know what? Why do you feel like me winning is making you lose? Like, what does that have to do with you? Because you can let them know, hey, I'm winning right now, and I know that you can be a winner as well. So in what areas in your life can I still win, but where can that support you to win in your life as well? You can start to think about life like this, because it's like, you know what? Why should you winning have to take away from somebody else's life? That's crazy. Think about this. Really, I want you to invite and encourage you to really sit with this. Like, anything in your life that you want, why would you ever feel guilty and shameful towards that? And why would that be negative? Why would you achieving the goals that you want in your life be a problem for anybody? And if it is, maybe, you need to change your belief, or maybe what you want is just selfish. No, I'm just kidding. Really, ultimately, as long as you're not murdering somebody or doing something crazy, a lot of the times what you want can completely respect and honor other people. There's nothing wrong with that. You can absolutely fully respect, fully honor, and fully be of service to the world and truly help others while still feeling peaceful. That's what I believe. I believe that feeling peaceful not only is okay, not only are you allowed to do it, but let's just take it a step further. That's true value. True value is you giving yourself permission to be okay and finally feel peaceful in your life. And then from there, help others to realize that they're allowed to do that they're allowed to give themselves permission to win. Because now you can create healthy relationships where you can win, and then also on top of that, other people can win as well. Both of you can win. You can create a win-win dynamic. No more win-lose dynamics. Erase all these type of connections in your life where maybe you're losing and then the other person is winning. Or maybe there's another connection where you're winning and then you realize, like, you know what, like, this person is losing right now. They feel like a loser and I'm winning, and it's like I'm almost like taking something from them. It's like, no, you know what? I'm going to let this go. Just let it go. If you feel like they can't match your level of, you winning in life and they choose to be a loser, then that's completely fine. That's completely fine. You can, give them more value that you think will help them, offer them something nice, give them something beautiful, and then let them go. Because if that's what's going to help you to feel peace and calm, then that's great. You need to do this. Again, if you making a choice that makes you feel peace, makes somebody else feel upset, you're going to have to still go along and make that choice anyway, because really, ultimately, in the bigger picture, that's really going to help them to find their peace, And I'm not saying that you can't try your best to let them know, to communicate, to let them know things that I shared in this video, right? But if they're not listening, then after all of that, if they're not willing to hear you out, it's okay to feel peaceful anyway, right? Because you've done everything. And that's like, if you haven't tried to do that, then I can understand where you might feel a part of you that feels guilty or shameful about feeling peaceful. But if you already tried to convince people and help them and nobody's listening, even more of a reason, and I'm not saying you should get to that point, hopefully it never gets that serious, but if it does, even more of a reason why you should feel peace in your life and be okay with that and be okay with being selfish. There's nothing wrong with being selfish. Being selfish is okay. Now, you shouldn't be so selfish to the point where you're now winning and other people have to lose because of your selfishness to win. If your selfishness to win can be balanced to the point where you still are honoring other people's desire to win as well and support them, then I think that's the middle ground. I don't think it's just about being selfless, and I don't think it's just about being selfish. I think that life is about finding a medium, a middle ground between both of these forces where you can still win and then ask people questions explicitly using your voice. Hey, how can I help you show up in your life? And without sacrificing your values, listen to them. See how you can do it. Think about it. Like, if you listen to them, you're going to get the answer that you're looking for. But just remember, as you're doing that, to not sacrifice what you really care about, and you're going to win. You're going to win in your life. I'm not promising that you're going to win. I'm never going to record a video here and let you know that, like, if you do these things in this video, you're going to win. But I'm going to tell you that I believe there's a higher probability that you're going to win. You're going to be successful. You're going to start to remember that success is nothing more than just taking action towards your vision. And that's part of value as well, is just taking action as well. If you're taking action towards your goal every single day and you're showing up towards your goal every single day, you're valuable already. You're already, and that value is only going to increase, and the leverage that you build in that area as you're consistent every single day is only going to get stronger, is only going to get more powerful. So, again, I'm just not promising you anything, but if you do these things and you follow these principles in this video, I think that you're going to increase the probability that you're able to create win-win dynamics in your life where you can win and the other people in your life can actually